city maps are going to be pushed first with one open map. I think that those are the first 3 maps.
Right, so now we see the coin toss has been won by SchoolBus, and we're going to see which is the soft ban put into the 7th place. Remember, this is a best of 7. This is the finals after all, and we will see after a long slog which of these are the best at the moment in EU and NA. Right, your prediction for the 7th map, guys, together. What do you reckon? Come on.
Mines?
Why not?
I'm gonna say steps.
Steps, okay, so steps or mines. We'll see what they come into the 7th place. It's been picked, and it's Cliff. They got rid of Cliff. Now, I believe that is the map they lost in the Season 4 final match. So, actually, no surprise there. The Virtus.Pro do not want to play again on Cliff. They did lose their title via that map. So, 6th place, what do you reckon?
I'm gonna go with
Steps again, maybe?
no, I'm gonna put Deception first. I'm gonna go with the Himmelsdorf this time.
Oh, okay. So SchoolBus is going to get rid of Mines. Now that was your choice for the 7th map. You would have been right if SchoolBus decided to pick first. So they don't want to play on Mines. Any reason for that? Do you think there's any particular reason they don't want to play on Mines?
Actually, they know each other so good that they know every little trick. They know how to defend against each other. So maybe Mines is a perfect map for that, to save your result till the end.
Save it for the result map. Okay, well, Insk comes in 5th place. So that's the last definite map? No, it could still not be seen. Insk is one of those maps that I find that at least Navi from RU find pretty difficult to play. So maybe one of these teams just don't want to play it either. However, Himmelsdorf comes in 4th, Prokhorovka in 3rd. Any thoughts on those maps, gentlemen?
City maps first with one open map. That's what I said.
It looks like it's going to come true. Wilkie?
I'm waiting for steps. Yes, I at least got one map right.
So you didn't get the last maps right, but you got the first map. It is going to be on steps. Then Rurenburg, Prokhorovka, Himmelsdorf, Insk, Mines, and then Cliff in the finale if necessary. Remember, guys, if there is a draw, it does go 1 point either way, so don't get confused if that occurs. Now, it's first to 4 points. If it is 4 points, it goes up to. And then it goes Sand River if it's a draw at that point. If they both go to 4-4, it will be going to Sand River. So, anyway, that is that. The map picking is done. Now we can talk about the first map. What do you expect to see lineup-wise from these two teams?
Like I said, I think the first map is the second soft ban, so they're gonna just chill out, feel the other, and draw it out. I don't expect to see any action in steps. It's too risky.
Too risky to see action on the first map. You think they're going to play it safe? You agree with this?
I agree. I totally agree. I think they're going to draw it out, keep it safe. But only if one team does a mistake, they're going to use it, and that's it. So probably a draw.
All right, so they're going to play it safe, sit back. So we're going to wait for the second map. What's happening there? What's going to be the order there? It's Rurenburg. So what are they going to be doing on this map?
I think in the second map, it's game time. They are going to go and try to win that match. And not necessarily any aggressive gameplay, but like a slow push, feel where's the opponent, and then strike to the soft spot of their tactic and try to win it in there. I expect the move to come in the 2-minute mark, 2-minute 30-second mark, because it's still the second map, so they don't want to risk it, but they want to try something.
Okay, so do you agree with this? The second map, we're going to see some decisive play, or do you think they're still going to skip that one?
It depends who is on what side, north or south. But actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a fight in the middle and around first, second, even second minute.
All right, so you think also that the second map is going to be the map where a lot of action might take place?
Yes.
Right, so moving on from there, you think this is going to be played in a long series. Virtus.Pro masters of playing out the set. It's not about the individual battles, it's about the whole set. So they're going to think about, okay, this map, we're weaker on. Let's play ultra defensive, pick a heavy lineup, a hold down lineup. We're going to sit back and wait for them. Make them force them to make the moves because we don't want to play this. We're going to see that a lot from Virtus.Pro. Do you think SchoolBus is prepared for that?
I think so. The team that knows Virtus.Pro the best is definitely SchoolBus.
Well, the audience seem to think that SchoolBus are at the disadvantage right now, with 71% saying Virtus.Pro. Now, considering Season 4 went SchoolBus's way, the audience seems to be favoring a move towards Virtus.Pro coming back, learning their lessons, and countering what they lost against SchoolBus. So, do you think SchoolBus will keep going in the way they went? Literally play the same style they did in Season 4? Or have they twisted something? They added some spice, some lemon to their cake?
It worked out in the Season 4, but we have to remember from the Grand Finals, when Navi played passive, Virtus.Pro was the active side. So if they want to draw it out, like they did in the Season 4 Finals, and just wait one of the teams to make a mistake, what happened in Cliff with Kusok and Walsik, I don't think that's going to happen this time, so SchoolBus needs to rise something and not just wait for Virtus.Pro to overextend.
Okay, so you think that SchoolBus still has it? I saw your smile like, that vote, you guys are wrong. He's like, you guys are wrong. It's definitely going to be SchoolBus. What gives you that confidence?
Because I think Virtus.Pro is too they want revenge too much, and that is going to block their mindset, in my opinion.
Just that simple fact alone, they're like, it's all about the revenge.
I think.
What about the disadvantage from SchoolBus, now sitting on the throne defending that honor, instead of being, well, we're expected in second place, let's just throw everything we got at them. There's no reason to hold back because we're not expected to win. Now, although the audience vote seems different, they are still expected to at least put up a fight. There's still that pressure. You think that pressure is not going to be anywhere near as much as the offset from Virtus.Pro wanting to win too badly? You think it's going to be more the Virtus.Pro disadvantage?
Yes, I think SchoolBus is going to play even better than they played on Season 4 Finals against Virtus.Pro. Even better.
Why? Tell us why.
Because of the reason I just said about Virtus.Pro having that need for revenge. They also changed one guy, one roster change. And I just think overall SchoolBus is a little bit better.
Brave words.
Skill-wise.
I'm just looking for Diamond to make sure he's nowhere near the desk and you just disappear all of a sudden.
He knows I think like this.
Okay. Wilkie, you in agreement, or are you
I agree
siding with the way?
with Weko that SchoolBus is better team in individual skill level, but this is a team game, and Virtus.Pro has been a team with big T for Season 2, Season 3, and even in the Grand Finals. So SchoolBus won Season 4 with the individual skill level, but this time I'm hoping that the better team wins, whichever it is.
Well, we're going to find out who it is soon enough, and I don't think there's much more that we can speculate on, but we really want to get this started and find out. So remember, guys, get involved on the social media. There's a little bit of time left to tweet at us and get involved. We want to see your stuff, especially those battle calls. I believe that's still going out. Make sure you're getting involved with that. Hashtag Rumble in the West. Just the first letters. RITW. Anyway, I think the battle's ready to go on. I won't even try and copy Clutch with his amazing Are You Ready? But are you ready for EU versus EU finals in the Rumble in the West? Take it away, my casters.
Thank you so much. Once again, the analysis desk doing a fantastic job of breaking down just about everything about that map for the two teams. And there's not much left to say other than we're moments away from finding out once again between the two giants who has the edge here. Obviously, SchoolBus reigning champion so far, something I'm not used to saying, and Virtus.Pro arguably being the underdogs, but there's so many variants coming into this. Where's your prediction?
Well, Virtus.Pro almost lost Season 4 Finals because they were too overconfident going into that Finals. I mean, they completely stomped the whole season on the online phase, didn't lose a single match, only lost one map. I think that's why they lost it. SchoolBus were the underdogs, so, being an underdog is a lot easier than being on top, no pressure. And I think that's why SchoolBus won it. But now SchoolBus aren't the underdogs for the first time ever. I think, honestly, they're going to struggle. I mean, Vetcho said that SchoolBus is a better team, perhaps, but Rumble and West could prove to be Virtus.Pro's championship if they just manage to keep confident. but not too overconfident.
See, that's the thing that worries me with these guys. They've been seeming confident, and it's easy for them to go in for that clean sweep style victory, which I'd love to see, don't get me wrong, but it's dangerous. But looking at the map pool, they're playing it smart. But anyway, into the game we go. In the north, in blue, it will be Virtus.Pro. You guys at home have been backing heavily, and in the south, in red, it's SchoolBus. What are we seeing so far from these guys? What sort of tank choices? How's this looking so far?
A little bit of early aggression from SchoolBus. Shanish near you in the middle, trying to get some cross shots onto Breakneck there from Virtus.Pro. Creates the light on their left as well. So an interesting start there from SchoolBus. Rest of their tanks heading up the back, supporting the tanks in front. So interesting stuff. Virtus.Pro also in the northern side, heading towards the trench side. Delight now and Crete's heading there as well. Kusok, the only one left back in A4. Shanish now retreating back towards the base again. So a bit of an aggressive start from SchoolBus. We'll have to see if Virtus.Pro can capitalize on this, if they can get themselves into good position to counter that.
And finally, we're seeing that RU251 in the hands of SchoolBus. Now, I thought they might be the ones to try it out first. I think Shanish, if I'm not mistaken, who's currently sitting in that one. But finally we're seeing it. It's something that I was expecting to see maybe a little earlier on, but maybe they were saving it for this. Maybe this was the game. They were bringing out all those tricks that were hidden up their sleeve. But has Virtus.Pro gone for the standard here as well, or have they switched up anything?
They haven't switched up anything. They've got, they got 1-2-5-1. They got a T32 there, and that's basically good play for that eastern side, for the trench side, of course. Just Cause going quite aggressive, looking for Arclit Armorly. It'd be great if they could get down to tier 1 at this early stage. It'll stop Virtus.Pro from SchoolBus from actually getting a lot of vision on towards the right side. Also, the capping pressure will decrease. Just Cause of making a shot and heading back. He just gets spotted there, so he's got to be careful. But Armorly and Arclit aren't in risky positions. They are pretty far up, so they'll be able to get out there easily. It'll be an easy escape route, but they could also be pinned down pretty easily by Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, certainly. But I always try and throw back my mind to the days when SchoolBus, when they were starting in the south, as they currently are sitting in, would happily sit up right at the very back of this and then all roll out, all push off in that same direction. Not quite the strategy they're currently with, but something to keep in the back of your minds. They have plans for this one. If there's an opponent they'll practice and get ready for, it will be Virtus.Pro. But Virtus.Pro look like they're wanting to find that weakness a little more than last time. Before, they were the ones who'd sit back and be a little bit more relaxed, leave the likes of SchoolBus to probe towards them. However, it does look like Virtus.Pro are wanting this win. Everyone's saying they're out for blood. I think they're correct. They are certainly looking for that weakness. They're actively hunting out. Shells coming through, mostly blind shots, but maybe a couple of spots here and there that will certainly give them a small edge. But this is what we've grown to expect of Steps in the EU region, at least. It's this back and forth cat and mouse game where it's all about that information gathering, smart rotates, and clever play. And do we see a victory coming out of this so far, or is it too early to tell?
Well, I don't expect a victory. Vetcho said it again, going for an aggressive start and going for a victory on the first match is very risky.
Yeah.
I think we'll see steps being drawn out. I think maybe Rurenberg the same. Obviously, Virtus.Pro don't want a repeat of Season 4 finals where they took it 3-all, then it went on to Cliff, and they lost it. Sand River could be an option. I honestly don't think so because it's also very random.
And remember what happened with Applewell there when they clutched out the end. I think it was him and Arclit, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the others when they clutched it out on that final moment to give them the victory. That was pretty impressive. They're clutch players. That's the thing. You put them in that predicament, I think they can pull it off. But Virtus.Pro overall, just well-rounded as a team.
Yeah, fantastic all-round players. I don't think there really is a weak link there. Again, I don't think Vorsic going out of the roster was a great idea. One mistake it doesn't really make up for such great plays throughout the season. But in my opinion, Winter Himmelsdorf will be the decider map. That's obviously going to be 4th.
Very excited
and
for that one.
I think that's the one which these two are going to be gunning for.
Yeah.
SchoolBus Virtus.Pro 50-50 on Himmelsdorf. I think they're both great. SchoolBus have looked a little bit stronger of late. Played some good games against Bernal Empires as well. So. We'll have to wait and see, of course. 5 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock. Just Cause and Virtus.Pro as a team heading back towards the northern side. Rotating maybe around, coming from the other side. But at the moment, it looks like SchoolBus quite happy to sit back, wait for Virtus.Pro to make the moves after that initial play with Near You. And what was that?
I think it was Shanish.
Near You and Shanish in the 2-5-1. Yeah.
And the one thing I always like to see with SchoolBus is the fact that people tend to forget that at the very start of the EU season, not too far gone, they did change up a lot of their own players. They took out Stalker after the very lacking results, let's say, during the season finals and the grand finals that went on, just dropping out so early on. And now they've come back and they look very strong. They look like they've kind of adapted well, and they've been able to challenge Virtus.Pro, I feel, more than they previously were able to. I want to see how they do on this sort of event, because people will chalk up what happened in the last season finals to maybe luck. You know, they had that one game, it came down to one map, and that's what it comes down to. Even though you'd argue they did tie it up very well in the other sets, but that's beyond what people might see occasionally. But we finally get to see, you know, another clear-cut game between these two, and especially with the beauty in a best-of-7 format rather than just a normal best-of-5. You get to see the entirety of their skill set, and it's going to be a very tentative game. Let's bear that in mind here. This isn't that, you know, rush style. This is very, very cautious, very careful, meticulously planned. And Shanish, got to be careful. That tank is mobile. It's brilliant, but you cannot overstay your welcome. Don't start testing it too far. He has taken a lot of damage, so he needs to be a little careful here. And let's bear in mind, Virtus.Pro, if they see a weakness, as we said, they will exploit it.
A lot of damage taken all around from SchoolBus. You can see at the top, SchoolBus's HP compared to Virtus.Pro's overall HP. The line below the names does indicate that. A good 10-15% of SchoolBus's entirety hit point pool. And Kreitz has also sneaked himself up quite far forwards and maybe be able to get into the cap if it does come down to it. But Virtus.Pro have got themselves a good advantage, and I think, you know, we said steps would be a draw, but honestly now, Armely and Shanish taking a couple of shells apiece, it could be a good advantage for them to push forwards and maybe even take a win. It'll be very hard because SchoolBus are got some great positions, but Kreitz just has so much freedom to spot, and it might be a great thing for them if they can actually get another couple of shells heading towards SchoolBus.
But this is going to be a test of discipline as well. Virtus.Pro definitely want revenge. They definitely want to be back at the top. They've had a run of second places regardless of their opponent. Finally, Kreitz will go down. And they want to make sure they get this, and I hope they don't get too overzealous into reading small margins. However, between these two, obviously small margins is a lot, but you can't overestimate having just a small advantage and then pushing it too far. Going into the hands of SchoolBus. You can see Delight trying to land more shells, more damage done would be brilliant. However, you can see that kind of line right at the back there coming out from SchoolBus. Extraordinarily passive, just trying to test Virtus.Pro's discipline, I feel, saying, let's see if they really want to go straight for that very aggressive play. See how aggressive and lacking that discipline they are. And if they find out that maybe they're kind of pushing a little haphazardly, SchoolBus could punish it. But so far, Virtus.Pro holding their nerve and playing smart.
Have to wait if really there's going to be a push from Virtus.Pro. They've headed over towards the right side again. Near you, though, pushing forwards, going to be sitting up into J3, J2, maybe trying to get another spots out, but I think this might be Virtus.Pro's play. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. The problem is Breakneck is playing the T32, so that's already one tank out of the game in terms of aggressive pressure. Arclit Army have waited patiently in the corner, so they'll be able to receive Just Cause no problem if he does push, and I think he'll go down within a matter of seconds. So he's going to have to be careful, but honestly, as predicted, I think it's going to be a draw.
Yep.
I don't want to eat my own words in 1 minute and 45 seconds, but I'm pretty safe in saying that it's going to be a draw as Just Cause makes a couple more blind shots. I mean, if he wasn't blind shotting, they could push because then he wouldn't have to reload and they might be able to win that.
Limited options now. Virtus.Pro clearly, though, looking for ways in. They're not playing complete passive, which we've seen them do before. We've seen them dropping out of maps, creating their own errors by playing extraordinarily passive. This time they look more active in searching for it, yet they will not overextend, which is a good display so far from Virtus.Pro, showing their poise in these sort of situations. SchoolBus, however, not giving away a single trick so far. They have been, you know, cards to chest, nothing given away. Now, looking at that, I don't know what to expect from SchoolBus. It's a dangerous game to be this passive, to make that initial slight move, let's bear in mind. That was 2 tanks, not even that aggressively pushed forward. They've given away nothing, yet not really found out too much, apart from Virtus.Pro is willing to play ball. So, at the end of the day, it's got to start looking at the next map, and SchoolBus, that's where their minds are surely going to be on. 45 seconds left. There's not a great deal that Virtus.Pro could do to forge the victory now.
Very little, as you said, 40 seconds left on the clock. Ruinberg will be our next map, city map. I would be surprised if we see SchoolBus managing to win that one. I think it's actually one of their weaker maps. They struggle a little bit with coordination over towards the eastern village. We'll have to wait and see if they can actually have something interesting to do there. But Bishop making a few more shots in that T69, I believe the last shots of the game. And 17 seconds left until we move on to our next map. So best of 7, 1 apiece. Obviously, you know, it's +1/+1 for a draw. 4 draws, 4 points apiece would mean we move on to our tiebreaker map, which is of course Sand River, and that would really give us a win as you know, if the defender hits the 7-minute mark, then it's a win. So draw 1-1. Yeah, indeed.
It's what we expected. It's that first map soft ban, which Wilkie and obviously Dorjan were talking about there. But so obviously given the reason as to why it's basically best of 7. You've got a lot of maps to play with. There is no reason to rush in for that early victory. One, it doesn't give you much of an edge going forward, apart from obviously having one extra point on your side. But giving away that possibility of an early loss, it's not worth going for. It's too risky. And let's be honest, Steps rarely gives us a clear victor. It's always down to those close base races. It's always down to those close rotates that could go either way. There are a lot more defining maps, and bearing in mind, Rumberg, Prokhorovka, and Himmelsdorf aren't far away. They do kind of give us results on a regular basis. Rumberg, it's a questionable map though. Let's bear in mind, okay, SchoolBus, maybe not their strongest, but they can get results on this, as can Virtus.Pro to a massive extent, however. But is it the map they're going to play on? You said it could be a draw. I still feel if Virtus.Pro push hard enough, SchoolBus will have to make a response, and they will arguably be able to kind of test them to the absolute maximum. If SchoolBus play purely passive, it will leave it to Virtus.Pro to take that pace, take the reins, and run with it, and that's dangerous.
Very good points indeed. I'm interested to see if Virtus.Pro actually have innovated since the Season 4 finals as well. If they've got a new tactic against SchoolBus. We often see the meta change when teams get too comfortable in a certain map. Another team comes along, changes it up. For instance, Kazakru did the F-line push with the AMX 5100, changes it up and managed to win it because they surprised the other team.
C-play completely in the finals. So many options available. But Rumberg, take me through the actual options here. Like, depending on which side they start, obviously variables. There's the south side camp. That's always a chance, and it's ridiculously hard to break. We've seen have we actually seen someone do it yet? I think one team break it. You could argue there are errors from the opponents,
it was,
but still.
Lucky Cracky versus Asuba.
Yes. So there, it's not exactly the highest tier within the EU region, so it's not quite your Virtus.Pro SchoolBus level. But Rumberg, it's a strange map. When I first started to cast it, obviously it was all about that head-on-head clash in the middle of the map. Has that become more viable? Is it too risky?
Well, we've seen teams kind of move away from the head-on-head clash in the middle. We've seen them more over towards the south side. I think when that south side camp was found, it was like
map changes.
Yeah, we can just sit here and the other team basically can't win unless they do something extraordinary, get some extraordinary luck, maybe like an Amarak or a fire, and there's no fire extinguisher, that kind of thing to actually manage to win it. So if we do see the middle engagement with the RU251s or the MX-3090s, it won't be a draw. But as soon as we see one of those two teams head over towards the southern side camp, then it will be a draw.
Yeah, very early on you can tell these things. World Tanks, as you said, highly tactical game. It's not necessarily how it breaks down in the team fights occasionally. It can be almost won or lost from the very start of it occasionally. And I do want to turn our attention towards tanks as well, because we've been treated to a fairly new selection, and it's quite rare in a way for World Tanks. We generally see the very standardized set. Occasionally we will see 1390s on this map. Will there maybe be, once again, that new tank in play here? It does have a position. It can be played right down that center of the map. If they go for that early exchange, will this be picked up?
If they go for the early exchange, for sure. I'm pretty sure they'll pick that one because the MX-3090 is a little bit weaker in that position. The only reason why it was picked is because it's fast, but the 251, better shots on the move, more accurate, better sniper all around. It can get a shot while it's crossing that central area and actually retreat pretty easily. Very quick as well, especially from the south. The problem is with the south when you're heading over towards the middle is that you have no cover on the way back, whereas from the north, you've got the rock in the middle, the fountain in the middle, you've also got the enclaves towards the right, and it's a lot easier to get in towards the village area. It's a lot quicker. It's a bit like mines from the north. So yeah, if we do see the 251 from both teams, it'll be a win, but it's going to be Virtus.Pro with, what is that, 5 AMX 5100s and 4 AMX 5100s and AMX 1390s.
What can we read from that? Is that something we might be able to
And that's
assume?
from the south. From the north, SchoolBus have picked 3 AMX 5100s, an AMX 3090, and Arclit in the IS3.
Curious choices of tanks. Not sure to assume just of yet, but once we get into this, I'm sure you can break it down. But second map now coming up. Maybe Virtus.Pro have changed something. Maybe there is something waiting for SchoolBus. But let's find out, ladies and gents. We are into the second map now. SchoolBus will be starting in the north, in red, and in the south in blue. It will be Virtus.Pro. And what are they getting up to?
Aqua not actually going straight towards the center, so maybe they're expecting to get crossed or they're playing immediately defensive. They're just putting out a defensive perimeter. This is SchoolBus from the north. Defensive perimeter, They're expecting a push from the city immediately from Virtus.Pro. Just Cause trying to get some initial spots on, doesn't find anything, so immediately Virtus.Pro knows that SchoolBus are not going for the village play like they thought they would be able to. A couple of shots heading across, but none connecting. Just Cause managing to get out there without any damage, so good start there from Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, and they are once again looking for the win here. Let's bear in mind, they are not going for the draws. They did not go for that southern camp. They are looking for the victory. They had the option to do it. They have every possibility to do so, but they've chose a lineup that certainly is made for action, but can they find it? Will SchoolBus allow it? SchoolBus, a strange setup that, as you said, looking for the perimeter, trying to lock it down, make sure no one can sneak in, no one gets these early, easy picks, but it's dangerous, and it's not something we see occasionally from the north side. It's quite the rarity that they put themselves in these positions, and I'm surprised at SchoolBus. They haven't come out swinging in any way, shape, or form. They're playing quite the passive game here.
SchoolBus saw the lineup from Virtus.Pro and they were like, screw this, we're not dealing with that at all.
Yep, we're going to back the hell up.
That's way too much damage from way too many high HP tanks for us to be able to actually do anything against them. But Virtus.Pro, risky move for sure. They can't get into the open. You know, yeah, SchoolBus, what they lack in damage, they can get in accuracy. And I think they'll be punished immediately if you head across the middle. Just Cause making a couple of shots, but SchoolBus staying back, staying defensive, not peeking, not taking any damage, because if they do take damage, immediately Virtus.Pro have an advantage and they'll be able to push it because of the HP disparity between both teams.
You've got to keep your eyes on the HP bars. You can see them at the side of your screens, and as you said, if the red side take a little too much, it will be go time for Virtus.Pro, and they're going to be terrified of that. One peek in the wrong direction, and you could be truly punished for it. And Virtus.Pro just looking, trying to find out if there's anyone out of position. Any of those blind shots connect? Wait and see. Problem Creeds are moving up, however.
They are starting to push along the 0 line. I'm not sure if they're going to go past the houses. As soon as they do, it's pretty much do or die. SchoolBus, Armley, AMX 5100, Shanish, AMX 5100, 2 heavy tanks for them, sitting in towards the BC line, with Dead Hunter spotting out towards the right side. So we are seeing a little bit of a switcheroo on the side of Virtus.Pro from the eastern village. It's kind of getting themselves into a formation. But Delight hasn't joined Breakneck, so maybe they're not going to go for a push. I'm not sure. Karit's going first, okay? So he's going to be spotting the way for the rest of his team. And if he doesn't get killed, doesn't get spotted, and he can get into a decent position, I think we'll see Virtus.Pro push up.
And I'd love to see them do this. We discussed the point that they may be looking for a way to get that kind of revenge going. Winning a map in, and on the second choice here would certainly be the way. And look at that, Breakneck is moving forward. Karit is there. And if they find out where the opposition are waiting, this could be disastrous for SchoolBus. We say it time and time again. If you play too passive, you allow room to breathe for the opposition. And Virtus.Pro is certainly a team that will look to exploit that. Karit is vital to this, though. Dark God Zim will be the first to be met, but behind him there is a massive amount of firepower waiting to be unearthed.
Karit's is going to try and get some proxy spots off. I'm not sure. There's basically 2 things Virtus.Pro can do. They can either follow Karit's path, or Karit's can spot and then do a lot of damage towards SchoolBus once he does spot. 50-meter proxy spot will mean that Dark God Zim gets spotted. And I don't think actually SchoolBus can do much about him, because as soon as they try and peek to take him out, they're going to receive a lot of damage from the 5100 over towards the right.
Certainly something to keep in mind. Bearing as well the fact that Armley, Shanish, Arclit, and Dead Hunter are over towards that west side. They are slightly split away from the others. Apoel, Near You, and Dark God Zim are a bit of a 3-man squad up towards that northeast side. So, got to be careful. Apoel actually looks like he was tying a little bit there, trying to move away a touch, but Kusok moving up as well. Look at Pobble, they're actually all moving up. They are moving up this northern road, guys. It does look like Virtus.Pro do want to make a stand on this map. If they get into the correct positions, that's a lot of damage coming in. What is the really decisive point in this? Who needs to be in position to make this play happen?
The decisive point is that Shanish, Armley, and Arclit are away from Near You and Apoel. If they take down Near You and Apoel, it'll be 3 versus 5 in terms of combat tanks. That'll be such a disadvantage for SchoolBus that they can clean up those heavy tanks.
He's been spotted. He knows that there is now action ahead. Near You does get the first shell off. They need to either commit or back out. There is no middle ground here. They have to be careful on this one because, as we now know, Shanish, Armley, Arclit, and Dead Hunter are not quite with this other squad. Bishop and Delight now move in. This looks like a matter of time. It's a bit of a standoff here.
I'm not sure if Breakneck it overextended because he got spotted at the beginning.
Yep.
It does kind of give the game away for Virtus.Pro. So if Virtus.Pro do engage, they're going to receive a lot of damage at the beginning, but I think they can overcompensate that by doing a lot of damage.
Here we go.
200. Here we
Bishop's going in first. He gets 2 shells back, 3 and 4. Bishop takes a lot of damage. Niyu goes in for another, but Fire comes in covering. But Bishop even getting a little bit of damage from the tier 1 from behind, but ignoring that, he's looking for more, and Fire comes in. Apua has to deal with Delight. He's doing just that. Apua needs to back away, leave Niyu to join in, and Niyu does the job. Delight goes down. Bishop does as well. This is a nice bit of work from SchoolBus. And only losing 1 so far. That's the tier 1, and more kills coming in. SchoolBus showing their strength.
Yeah, Just Cause Povel not in the fight at all. Breakneck on his own now. 2 versus 1. Yes, he's done a lot of damage to Apwao, but Apwao, fantastic player, will stay back, will stay defensive, will not peek, will not go forwards, will not get taken down. Now, Just Cause Povel, they can bring this back. 3 minutes and 30 seconds is about enough time for Virtus.Pro to get away from this one, but it's also plenty of time for SchoolBus to win it.
Breakneck is on reload. He's got to be careful here. If he crosses out in the open too much, he'll be punished. There are now around 5 tanks staring him down. The rest of the side is rejoined up by that northeastern force, and if he does get caught here, this means trouble. 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Povel retracting back, but look at Dead Hunter already splitting off as well to try and negate that runaway. It looks like SchoolBus want the victory here. You can see how close these guys are just to getting into cover. Breakneck finally gets some. Just Cause picks up where they left off. Povel, however, further south, just in case there is that tier 1 going for the count.
The good shots coming out from Breakneck. Dead Hunter does get spotted by Povel, so he'll go down. Shanish also received a couple from Just Cause. Fantastic cross-off. Those 2 auto-loading tanks from Virtus.Pro will be able to lock down SchoolBus from going in towards the city. That's why you see Apwa and Arclit heading up, trying to deal with Povel in the south.
Well, Arclit and Apua, as you said, splitting off. 2 minutes and 37 seconds. The cap was halted. SchoolBus no longer really have that option available unless they get more tanks down here. But Povel's actually moving up. If he's not reading the situation correctly, this could be dangerous. But then again, are SchoolBus going to go in for the challenge? They are fairly low. Apuao's low. Arclit lower. Niyu not exactly sitting pretty either. There's a lot of low tanks here. Just Cause still sitting full HP, as is Near on Povel. Dangerous predicament for both sides. With only 2 minutes, there has to be a decisive move, and who's the one looking like they want it most?
Well, if SchoolBus get 4 tanks in the cap, that's only 30 seconds, so they got about 1.5 minutes to make their move, whatever they want to do. I think 2-minute mark might be a little bit too much time for them to take out the entirety of Virtus.Pro, especially if Just Cause can be able to deal with Janish on such a low amount of HP. But Just Cause is going to cross out, might actually spot the whole push from Virtus.Pro, from SchoolBus even.
I think he was a little too late. I don't think he spotted them. Or did no, I think he got Arclit and Armley spotted, and that was just about it. He's got all of them, pretty much.
He's got all of them.
Brilliant play there from Just Cause, and now that means that Povel and Breakneck can get into a position to deal with this, and I think SchoolBus know that. They are now scrambling for ideas. They don't have that clear-cut route of a victory anymore, and at the moment I'm worried that maybe Virtus.Pro can turn this one around to a victory for themselves if they play it right.
Well, it does serve them right. Armley should have been more aggressive. He had so much HP to play around with. Povel punishes him for peeking. Niyu crosses. Armley is also going to be in hot pursuit. But Povel, that MX 5100, doesn't really get much better in terms of players.
Shanish is important here.
Shanish is really important. Just Cause has to deal with him, but it will be like a 20 seconds of him dealing with him before he can actually help the rest of his team, which could be crucial.
Well, here we go. This beautiful play from Just Cause, predicting that Shanish was not in the play as he spotted, turns around, takes him down, and brings this far more manageable situation, possibly to hands of Virtus.Pro. Will SchoolBus commit? That's their options right now. They are in the south. They could do the southern side camp if they really want to. They want to bring that into play, but at the moment, let's see what they go for here. 35 seconds. I think they are just going to try and lock this one out. They had the opportunities and they let it sit, but Just Cause is going up towards the north. Breakneck moving down. Povel playing it safe.
Just Cause is just going to try and draw it out 100%.
Yep, play it safe. Smart play. The cap doesn't matter. There's no time for it. Breakneck's just going hunting. I think this was well negated damage from Virtus.Pro. Povel will fall, but Just Cause and Breakneck can play this one out carefully. I do not believe they have the time to take both of these tanks down, and Breakneck, he'll be the lamb to the slaughter. But regardless, 3 seconds left. The map has been drawn out. Map 2 is a draw, but a good play from both.
Yeah, Just Cause the only one alive there for Virtus.Pro at the end, a little bit shaky. I'm going to say the very least, but SchoolBus could have won that.
Yes.
They were in a 5 versus 3 situation at the end of the day. The only thing Virtus.Pro had in terms of advantage was the fact that they had the higher ground, they had the eastern village, and Virtus.Pro played it perfectly from that initial move. I think, really, Virtus.Pro kind of half committed to that push on the west side. They could have gone all in and potentially lost all their tanks, or they could have done what they did, potentially win, or potentially have the situation they just did. It was a good call all around, but I'd like to see a little bit more commitment from them.
Yeah, so next map coming up, Prokhorovka. Bit of an open map, not something that normally gives us results aside from when Virtus.Pro play it, where they do that beautiful push across the map. SchoolBus, I'm not sure with them on this map. I've never been sold. Applewell has his moments. He can play it very well in a 1390, but they occasionally go back to that 4-1-6 play. They play a little bit differently, and sometimes it doesn't really work out as well, and I fear that this may not be a map they can particularly win on, whereas Virtus.Pro can definitely give us results.
I'm not sure about this map because it's always a soft ban most of the time.
Well, most of the time, it's rare to see it in this position.
I mean, if we look historically, Virtus.Pro have a big advantage. Season 2, Season 3, they had like 100% win ratio.
Yep.
Season 1, they had a 14 games, 0 losses on Prokhorovka. That's the kind of thing they can do. The issue is back then it was about artillery in the T50-2. Obviously, both not viable anymore. Not one not even in the game anymore. So I don't think that's going to be an option. So T32 is going to be in play. RU251 could possibly be a big feature in this matchup. But again, Virtus.Pro have the advantage in terms of previous results, but SchoolBus, they're the defending champions. They want to hang on to this title. They want that $25,000. They want the first place. What's the saying? You win, 2 times a charm, I guess. It's usually 3 times a charm, but I'm going to minus 1.
You're going to bring it down to 2.
2 times a charm's got a better ring to it. But they do prove themselves if they win this. Everyone was saying, okay, SchoolBus a bit lucky, winning that map on map Cliffs in the season finals. A little bit of luck involved. If they win Rumble in the West as well, that'll be 100% confirmation that they're the best team in Europe.
I can't agree more, and it's funny, I throw my mind back to the previous season finals before that, when Stalker was still in the SchoolBus side, when they were known as Team Dingtest, and their opponents were always Virtus.Pro in those finals. He always said to me, I hate the way they play passive, I hate the way that they camp. That's how they win the games. And it's quite funny to now see SchoolBus taking that kind of approach, whereas it's Virtus.Pro bringing the more aggressive stance. But then again, with these two, it's always calculated. It's not just a pure camp. We saw it there on Runeberg. It was a calculated risk of, do we commit? Do we not? Have we got the advantage? Is it enough to play with? Because bearing in mind, you could easily look at SchoolBus's predicament and say they should have played that out. They should have gone for the win. But in their minds, there was probably that risk there very early on. The Virtus.Pro could have turned it. We saw how close that got. So it does make sense in the end. But we are still tied at 2-2. And let's bear in mind, we're getting closer to the possibility of Sand River as well, which we've seen Virtus.Pro being dismantled on by SchoolBus with the Applewell, and I believe it's Arclit left in that 2v1 or 2v2, and they played perfectly in those last couple of seconds. So if I was Virtus.Pro, I would not want that map. So arguably the next two are extraordinarily important. Himmelsdorf could be a decider.
I think it'll be a decider.
And it's my favorite map between these two. In the online season, it was the case of who's adapted that 10% more, who's changed that one position, who's got the better cap going, the counter cap, the counter plays, the quick rotates. Every single beautiful thing about World of Tanks comes into place when those two play on Himmelsdorf. Prokhorovka, though, is a danger. As we said, Virtus.Pro have the chance here.
So tank lineups are locked in for both teams. AAA MX-3090, 416 T32 for Virtus.Pro.
What?
And the SchoolBus side, AAA MX-3090, T32, 416. Mirrored lineup from both these two teams. 416 we saw earlier, actually, from Virtus.Pro SchoolBus. So a little bit surprised we didn't see it in season 4 that much. SchoolBus picked it already today.
Yep.
It was quite effective, but again, it's a hard tank to play. You got the issue with the 85 radius where the turret can turn. Completely lost the word, what that's called. It'll come back to me at some point. But let's see how the 416 does.
Yep.
251 obviously not the favorite anymore, or not the favorite in Prokhorovka. 416 adds more damage, a little bit better of a sniper, and you can kind of cover up that speed with the use the MX-3090 instead of the 251 for the middle spot. So it does kind of make sense, and when you have such brilliant players, the MX-3090 does have a higher potential damage.
And it's just great seeing Virtus.Pro play with that 416. It's rare we see them kind of incorporating slightly newer style tanks to their sort of lineups. SchoolBus obviously championed it for quite some time, but Virtus.Pro picking up might mean something else, but we are now ready to get into battle number 3, map number 3, Prokhorovka. So in the north in red it will be SchoolBus, in the south in blue it's going to be Virtus.Pro. And how are they shaping up so far? Are they heading towards one place? Are they going to countering points. What's the initial play?
SchoolBus doing what they did already against Bernal Empires. Bernal Empires actually, or might have been on the
No, it was Bernal
Bernal
Empires,
yeah. Heading up towards the left side, the 1-2 line, the green road, the tree road, whatever you like to call it. Shanish in the middle in the T32, going to be trying covering off with the hull down tank. Just Cause spots him out, but doesn't spot out any of the other tanks. Actually does, he finds Arclet as well in the 416. Could be dangerous, but there's no tank there to receive from Virtus.Pro to do any damage. So does get away with that one scot-free, but the game is up, the jig is up for SchoolBus. Virtus.Pro know where they are.
Very surprised that SchoolBus played this near on exact tactic against the Americans earlier. That was not just a kind of thrown together, caution to the wind tactic they brought out towards Bernal Empires. They're playing their A game, and if they're using it against Virtus.Pro, there must be a reason as to why, and maybe it's a direct counter to what they expect from Virtus.Pro, but then again, maybe V-Pro know what they're up to. Maybe they watched that game earlier, they were certainly around. They might be able to work out what's going on. Just spotting out Arclet and Shanish would certainly give away enough. But then again, interesting to see how this one plays out. Where do you see the next big important points coming from this one?
Well, normally the northern team wins this engagement. There's a reason why most southern teams head over towards the village side, because the northern team get over towards the tree road, get those initial spots. Positioning is very important in this game. So honestly, I expect SchoolBus to win it. Shanish putting some good pressure down as well. But Apowow, Dark God Tim are going to be very vital. Apowow, playing the AMX 3090, might head up towards the north. He was playing the same position against Bernal Empires as well. And basically he was there just to stop any push from the right side, and then he heads over to 1-2-3 line as well. Now, for Virtus.Pro to win this, I think honestly, the right side push, get a couple of decent shots onto Apowow, put pressure onto him, have a tank in the middle to receive him when he does try and head over towards the left side, and do as much damage as you can on that AMX 3090, maybe even take him down if you manage to double track him, and then you can just push him through onto Arclet, Armory, and the rest of the SchoolBus side.
So options available for both as to how to maybe convert this into a victory. Then again, it's Prokhorovka. I can never bring myself to believe this may actually wield a result, as it's so renowned for actually it being such a draw once they stop doing that head-on-head clash around that FE line. Still, Zim and Apowow further towards the northeast, playing the safety game. Apowow creating that crossfire. As he did before, he did get challenged by Bernal Empires last time, tried to retreat and did get away, but I feel that Virtus.Pro won't probably miss those shots. This time, however, slower pace game here. No one going in for that half-handed play. They know that the impact of losing this one basically opens the game up all over again. You want to at least ideally win, and just below that, get a draw under your belt. Head towards Himmelsdorf, a map that both of these teams can play to a phenomenal standard. Whereas this is a little open, a little dangerous. It can fall apart very quickly if someone makes a mistake. But look at Just Cause and Bishop. Do you think they're got a little bit of a plan in mind, or are they just moving up a little?
Well, they're probably just heading over towards the right side, looking for Apowow. Just Cause heading first. I'm not sure if Bishop's going to be following him or not, but Dark God Tim would be the first shot if they can take him down. But if we have a look on the maxi map, we can break it down a little bit more easily, a bit more clearly for you guys as to what Virtus.Pro really have the option of doing. So Bishop, Just Cause can head up towards Apowow. Dark God Tim will spot them, which will be a big problem, of course, but Apowow will be crossed off by Kusok, a couple of shots into the side. Once he's down, they have the middle center and the right area. Now, 2 tier 1s in towards the cap for Virtus.Pro, and then pushing off in towards Armory and Arclet, and basically keeping them down and keeping them spotted, because they are on the high ground. Once they're spotted, it would be very easy for them to be shot and basically blown away. So that's the option for Virtus.Pro. SchoolBus have a little less options because they have kind of pigeonholed themselves into towards the left side. But Dark God Sim is starting to make his move, maybe trying to spot for Apowow.
5 minutes and 22 seconds to do so. I feel that once again it is Virtus.Pro looking for the win. SchoolBus going to draw this out. Plan from the start may have been Himmelsdorf or even Happy on Sand River. If they put more work into it, that is a dangerous team. But at the moment, Virtus.Pro being cautious, and there's have every right to be so. With 5 minutes left, you do not want to leave this open. There's so many tier 1s in play still. Every single possibility is still there. But Bishop is moving up. Bishop is looking for those options. If he takes down Dark God Zim, that opens up the entirety of the east side of the map, leaving pretty much Virtus.Pro to their own devices until they meet Apowow. And there's obviously the chance of a counterplay, but You know, they do have the likes of Kusok and Creed still on the west side of the map, but just one tier 1 down will open up a lot, and you can see Bishop just knowing where Apoel will play, doesn't get the shot off, sadly.
Ooh, Zim, sneaky Zim.
Yeah. Zim might be able to make
Zim,
a
Alabim.
play. He's got the spawn towards Bishop. Not sure about Just Cause, however.
Bishop has to try and retreat out of there, Just Cause supporting him a little bit. I think Virtus.Pro wanted to get shots onto Apoel, didn't succeed in doing so because Zim's brilliant timing there, spotting Bishop out. Apoel would have responded with damage of his own, and it kind of negate each other. I'm actually pretty surprised SchoolBus have been passive on this map. I think they should have been a little bit more aggressive, not try the same tactic like they did against Bernal Empires, and just try to make something happen, because honestly Virtus.Pro have shown that they're the better team so far. On Ruinberg, they made the play, it didn't work, but they managed to bring it back perfectly, and they've been the better players, which is going to make a big difference. Near You has joined Aqua now though, so maybe they're going to go 2 versus 2 on Bishop and Just Cause. Now we could see that one-on-one engagement between Apoel and Just Cause Vetcho wanted to see.
Well, certainly something to keep your eyes on, as Just Cause will be on the front lines. There will be the spot of Bishop, but I think Dark God Dim maybe spotting him out, and there we go, spots are made. Will they keep committing here? Finally the tier 1 will fall. I mean, that is Dark God Dim finally out of the game, and these two are scrambling for cover. I don't think they want this engagement anymore now they know the position is.
No, Just Cause really stopped them going forwards, and Apoel Near You trying to retreat. They got a bush just put in front of them so they can kind of get away a little bit scot-free and reset themselves into this fight. 2 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock. No reactionary play from SchoolBus indicates that they don't want to make anything happen here.
No, and the funny thing is I have had this argument, and I bring it to mind as, we do see a tier 1 maybe scouting out Shenish. They could punish him. But back to the point, I've had this argument before of teams who are passive and the defending team and the attacking team. As we had the assault mode earlier, and we may see it on Sand River, there's always the argument for the more aggressive, arguably the attacking side, especially on assault, that they'll be the ones more warmed up. They're actively looking for these shots rather than being the ones responding. And that argument was made by Heaton of all people. If you know who he is, you'll know why that means a lot. And it's funny to see this obviously being the point as well, because at the moment I feel Virtus.Pro are far more warmed up going into this, and this was one of the issues you could have argued caused their downfall in their prior season when these two last met, was the fact that Virtus.Pro, they played 2 games, I believe? Not exactly a great deal for them to get warmed up in and get ready to, but them constantly looking for these engagements, looking for a way in, just about avoiding shots as well. It means they're more warmed up, they're ready, they're actively thinking, whereas SchoolBus are just avoiding. They gave that one chance with the 1390s going hunting and then immediately backing out. So it's a dangerous game to play for SchoolBus. They are bringing it right down to the wire here. And let's bear in mind, the 2 final possible choices are basically win on Himmelsdorf or take it to Sand River.
Yep. You either have the predictable map or the most unpredictable map. That's the 2 choices for both these 2 finalists. Just Cause Bishop now heading towards the right once again, maybe trying their luck once more. But 1 minute and 20 seconds, probably too little amount of time to actually manage to win this one, and we'll be moving to our next map, Himmelsdorf. But this is what I want to talk about. In the Season 4 finals, basically Virtus.Pro are in the exact opposite position they were last time.
Yep.
They were the ones who were passive and SchoolBus were putting it towards them, so that could be dangerous, but we are seeing a play with 1 minute left on the clock, as Near You's going to find Just Cause towards his left and maybe Bishop towards his front, and at the moment I think Virtus.Pro have a little bit of an advantage, but they have less tanks.
50 seconds, one bounce comes across, and maybe Just Cause is in a little bit of a pickle now. He's got 2 tanks staring him down. 43 seconds, so it's not a lot of time to convert into a victory. Bearing in mind how far back Delight is, but then again, Virtus.Pro have lost both of their tier 1s. Then again, 34 seconds, it's not a great deal of time to do this damage, and I think the SchoolBus know that fact. They're going to back away. If they maybe were able to punish those 2 tanks who are a little bit further forward, the likes of Just Cause and one other, they may have had a bit of a glimmer of hope, but for now, I believe this is going to be a flat-out draw once again. These teams, so even in the way they're playing, both having the same mentality. Near You and Just Cause just going in for a garbage push. This will not equate in a winner, I can assure you that much. And it's going to be time for Himmelsdorf. What can we say about it?
Well, we can say that it's going to be a decisive map. I think Virtus.Pro, you said their momentum's good, their confidence good. They're in the opposite situation they were in last time in the Season 4 finals, so I think it's a big plus for them as well. I said this would be the decider, and I think it will be. I don't think Sand River's a particularly good option for either of these two. Yes, they've trained it plenty of times because they thought, okay, maybe we'll end up on it. But Himmelsdorf, they've played for years. These guys have been playing for eons, and they prefer to go for the predictable than the unpredictable. Arklit said it earlier, you prefer to fight the known than the unknown, and that's going to be a big plus to them. Of course, you know, we've seen plenty of teams try really weird tactics, which you can never predict, which would be very interesting, but also very unpredictable.
I can't wait to see what they bring out. Himmelsdorf, to me, is still my absolute favorite between these two. Both adapting perfectly, changing things up. And I want to see which side they start on as well, because to me, SchoolBus ended up being very much the Northwest camp team. They just locked it down. They played very standard. If Virtus.Pro start in that position, they're the ones actively looking. I'm interested to see what actually SchoolBus do to try and turn it around, because they'll look for the victory on this. Let's bear in mind, no one wants to go to Sand River as the deciding map. Let's be very serious. It is hard to predict, as you mentioned. It's nothing that can be easily, you know, kind of planned out for, whereas Himmelsdorf can be. I'm just very interested to see how they intend to do so. And
it's the best map for these two to decide on. We've seen so many times they've played against each other on Himmelsdorf. It's been undecided, or one of these two have got the better of each other. It's really the closest map we could expect, and the best map we can expect. I really hope Virtus.Pro do win. For some reason.
I'm sticking with SchoolBus in this one, even though they've been the more passive team. Normally I'm with you going with the team looking for the win early on, but I can't be mean to Apple Wow, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Apple Wow, pow pow.
Apple Wow, pow pow, that was brilliant, yeah.
you can't deny it.
Do head over to youtube.com/WGLU and hit your mouse.
You want to hit on Apple Wow?
Of course I do. That's for the after party, Lauren. Don't take my man, okay? But you just hit on the SchoolBus team video and you'll be able to see the pow 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 of Apple Wow.
Definitely check it out.
Sensational stuff.
It is pretty incredible. But still, obviously you guys at home, once you've done that, head over to Twitter, check it out yourselves. Make sure you give me your predictions towards this final map. It's going to be Himmelsdorf, arguably. If they do get a victor on this one, will it be Virtus.Pro? Will it be SchoolBus? Will it go to Sand River? Give us your predictions and use that hashtag RITW. Let Melly know what you're thinking on this one and who's got the upper hand. Has it been the defensive, newly kind of top dogs of SchoolBus, or the underdogs Virtus.Pro working their way in with a slow but grinding aggression that has been starting to work away at SchoolBus? Himmelsdorf could be the decider, or it does mean we go to Sand River. I'm not sure what to expect. Do you 100% think this is going to be the winning map?
I'm pretty sure it will be.
I'm not sure anymore. The more I think about it,
I think it'll be a base race as well.
For me, if I was facing off against a team that I destroyed on one specific thing, i.e. Sand River, I want to take them back to it and prove it again. Just for the sake of it. Because you know that Virtus.Pro would hate to go to that map. They've been looking for the win from the very start. They do not want to go to Sand River.
Well,
they've lost so many times on that map. Na'Vi lost to them in the grand finals. I gave them second place. Lost to SchoolBus, gave them second place. It is pretty much the widowmaker of maps for these guys. They're just, they're not getting any luck on it. They just cannot get any sort of edge on it. They didn't play it correctly. They didn't get the right sides last time. This time, though, they're going to go for the win. And if SchoolBus say, okay, we'll play passively, we'll wait you out then. I think SchoolBus are going to be going for it. I think they'll go for Sand River. I don't know why, I've just got a feeling. The way they've been playing so far, I think it might be a choice. But then again, Virtus.Pro can forge victories on this map.
An interesting thing was when we first joined the training room, you guys couldn't see it at home and here in the arena, but Virtus.Pro were actually on Sand River when SchoolBus joined the training room.
Maybe expecting.
So they obviously trying a couple of things out. You'll often see the top teams jumping quickly into a map, kind of getting used to it if they do expect to see it a little bit later on. But we are to Himmelsdorf, Winter Himmelsdorf, I should say, any second now. Triple AMX 6200, double IS3 from both Virtus.Pro starting from the south and SchoolBus starting from the north.
Well, ladies and gents, in the format we have, we will basically be seeing either Sand River or a decided winner. This is what it comes down to, and what a map to have it on Himmelsdorf, one of the most typically played out maps, the most beautifully played out maps where tactics are vital, where individual performance can gift you a win. Between Virtus.Pro and SchoolBus, it's going to be a brilliant display. And I believe SchoolBus looking ready. Virtus.Pro, they've been aggressive throughout, looking for the victory. Maybe it's finally time to see SchoolBus doing the same thing. And regardless of that fact, I think we are just about into the matchup. So it's all tied up so far, but Virtus.Pro will be starting in the south and in the north. It will be SchoolBus heading into this one. And what are we seeing so far?
Immediately, SchoolBus aren't going for the A4, A5 camping strategy, because near you, Aquao head towards the hill. Arklit, Armley kind of any tactic towards the right side, towards the left side, I should say, from their side of the map. The 1-2-3 line with the IS-3 is going to go hull down, whilst Virtus.Pro, pretty standard stuff. Delight, Povel, left side with the AMX 5100, Breakneck, Kusok. They have the cross on, and also the middle area with the IS-3s, and Just Cause in the last AMX 5100 heads up the hill.
I absolutely love seeing this. This is going to be a beautiful game to watch, and let's look at, no, I was about to say the hill won't be pressured actually, but Just Cause is going to head up there eventually. He's just off to the right of the screen. And a couple of spots being made, nothing too vital just yet, but Povel being spotted is something quite important. He is down on the west side, down on that one line, but you can see Apoel moving up as well. Just Cause is over on the other side. Quite some way of playing passively at the foot of the hill. May allow Apoel maybe a couple of shots on towards Kusok or Breakneck if possible, or even Karitz if in the right position. And how do we feel about this? Because let's be honest here, in the south side, which is Virtus.Pro, they're quite heavily stacked towards the west side. Not completely, but mostly focused towards that railroad side. Whereas SchoolBus maybe more well-rounded, keeping near you over towards the banana line, or is he going to end up going around towards the west side as well?
Well, so far it worked perfectly because he took down Karitz, team captain of Virtus.Pro. Does give Karitz a better ability to kind of manage his team, but at the same time, it's just Himmelsdorf where the tier 1 makes a big difference, so it's going to be key. Near you now heading up to join his teammate Apoel and fellow AMX 5100 on the hill. Kusok, Breakneck towards the right side. Maybe we're going to start seeing Virtus.Pro push up the 8 line. And
that'd be disastrous, bearing in mind that just a couple of seconds ago there was a player defending that. Now they've backed off towards the hill. This means it's quite vulnerable. Dead Hunter would obviously spot this out quite early on, but still. Dangerous play. When Virtus.Pro have a plan in mind, generally the execution is perfect. And we know these guys can go aggressive. They used to love that across the map, playing across the courtyard, tucking themselves up by that kind of DE line, and then just playing off the back of it as to where they got the opening. And actually, they're not going up the banana line. Where are they heading, are they?
Well, they're sending Bishop first in the tier 1, their last remaining tier 1. He's going to scout out, see if there's anything there from SchoolBus. Povel, Delight, Just Cause the 3 MX 5100s will head up the hill, try and take down Apoel and Near You, because they know Near You is heading up the hill because he took down Karitz, and there's really no other place he can go. Yep. And then Breakneck and Kusok and the 2 IS-3s will either push straight forwards, or they'll head left and in towards the courtyard, supported with those AMX 5100s on the hill. So I think that's the general attack plan from Virtus.Pro. Whether SchoolBus can really weather that storm, we'll have to see. Dark God Sim is getting himself into a different position. Armley, Arclit, Shanish will be a little bit late to react, especially Shanish. So it'll be very interesting indeed. But I think the main play is going to be on that hill. Bishop does get spotted. So a little bit of a game changer there for Virtus.Pro, because that kind of does give SchoolBus an idea of what they're doing.
But look at this, Kusok and Breakneck with Bishop pushing up a little down the A-line as well. Apoel needs to be careful here. He has been spotted. He needs to not outstay his welcome. Dead Hunter, you could say, could be lost for the bigger cause, but these guys are not stopping. They're going to go in for the aggressive push, maybe try and catch Apoel. He is out and in a clear position. He is safe for now. And the push might just be to make Apoel get caught on the cross here. Kusok is waiting for this one. He does get one on the cross, two on the cross there. Nice work from Apoel. Just kind of avoiding most of the damage, but Kusok landing them on the move was brilliant. Look at this, Just Cause hunting him down. He is the complete target of this play straight away. He is down to how much HP is he left with here? 342. That is minimal for a player of his caliber.
That's a one-shot for an IS-3 for sure, and maybe even a one-shot if they get lucky for an MX 5100. Counterplay does come up from SchoolBus into the middle. That's Arclit and Armley leading that one, but Apoel's got to hang on here.
He has to weather the storm, as you said. He's a vital part of this. Will he sacrifice himself to allow the rotates? He's got to buy time now. Got to allow the rest of his side around the back. It's Arclit, it's Armley, it's Shanish. The cavalry are on the way, but he has gone down. Apoel's out of the fight. The tier 1's also removed, but here comes Arclit, here comes Armley. They don't get the shots they need. Breakneck's still alive. And now the complete switch up of positions here. Near You, Armley, Shanish, all still in the battle. Just Cause hunting down. Shanish is in a bit of a predicament. He might be locked off in this one, or he could come around the backside. He could be in a good spot as well. The engagement begins. Delight in a battle. Here's Shanish around the backside, just toying with Povel. But there's the delivery of the shell he needed, as Armley on the front lines trying to get the work done. He's down to nothing. Kusok could take him down. Arclit behind. This is going down to the wire, ladies and gents. The HP pool for SchoolBus is desperately low, but the positioning is possible. And Near You is off. He's still on full HP. He can do a lot of work. Kusok is going to fall, and this is back in the hands of SchoolBus. Can they close this one out?
Only Breakneck and Just Cause left. Just Cause has got a good amount of HP. Look how many tanks are low HP for the side of SchoolBus. Arclit missing that shell there. Armley, such a low amount of HP. Just Cause, it's really on his shoulders to do something at this point, and Breakneck just runs for it.
3v4 situation, ladies and gents. Bearing in mind, one of them is a tier 1 for Virtus.Pro, not something you can get into the engagements, whereas these boys are still full health. Near you, chasing down Breakneck, looking for him, hunting him down. He's got a rough idea where he is. He's spoiled them out earlier on. He's going to go for the shot. Immediately, oh, Breakneck with a nice little bit of work around the corner, but doesn't get a shot back. Near you, holding firm, waiting for the perfect shot. And here we go. Breakneck down to a one shot. One more shell should surely do the job. Near you delivers now. Just Cause alive with Bishop. Can they stay alive for 4 minutes? Or are we done here and are SchoolBus the champions?
SchoolBus really have to screw up to Lutus at the moment.
Though.
Yeah, Just Cause is going to be maybe going for the cap, putting the pressure on, but I honestly don't see how they can, for instance, take down Near You, who's still got 999 HP left. Just Cause maybe has like 4 or 5 shells left in that autoloader, so not even enough damage to take down all 3 tanks. I think it's very unlucky. The base capture is coming on, the extra dimension of pressure, and Just Cause is forced to make the next move.
He has to go clutch or go home. This is it. It's all down to Just Cause here. Bishop can try and do something, but 25 seconds and SchoolBus have won this game. He needs to reset. He needs to do everything humanly possible. I don't know if he's even got enough time to really do this. 15 seconds. Look at this positioning. SchoolBus waiting. They know they're on the verge of walking away as the champions. 8 seconds left. Just Cause, where are you, buddy? You needed to be here sooner. This is SchoolBus looking dangerous. 2 seconds left. SchoolBus, have you done enough? Yes, you have. SchoolBus are the champions once again, proving who is the top dog here in Europe.
To coin a phrase, 2 times a charm, 2 times SchoolBus champions.
What a brilliant moment for SchoolBus. Let's head back down to the stage with Clutch and the winners.
Thank you, Lauren and Oliver. A fantastic series between 2 powerhouse teams, 2 rivals from EU, and in the end, it was SchoolBus that was able to get the victory. 3 draws at the beginning, but the ability to move around that push on the hill of Himmelsdorf was quite a sight to see. I'm going to talk with Artlet in just a bit as they shake hands with their opponents and longtime rivals. I'm sure we're going to continue to see the amazing firepower and talents of these 2 teams in Season 5. Artlet, go ahead and join me as your team gathers around the trophy. There you go. I know you're excited. You just took home $25,000 for you and your team. How proud are you of SchoolBus right now?
I'm extremely proud, not because of the money, because we did it again. Nobody trusted that we could do it 2 times in a row, and everybody said that it was just a luck win. So now we can get a bit more confidence and say back that it's not just luck. Maybe it's just just something about us too.
Not just luck when you do it twice, that is true. But on this stage, it was 3 draws in a row, but finally on Himmelsdorf, when Virtus.Pro pushed up that hill, what was going on in the comms? What were the calls when you recognized that they were trying to push against your forces in the north?
Well, we knew that some moment in the near future we have to regroup fast, and we got ready. So when the moment came, when we spotted the tanks coming from the banana, we just knew what to do, so we came and closed them in, while the 5100 was like a bait. We didn't expect him to be one, but it just happened so.
You are champions once again. What would you like to say to all these fans that have been cheering for you here at Poznań, Poland, and to everybody watching around the world?
Thanks, guys. We wouldn't have done it without you.
Let's hear it for the Rumble in the West champions, SchoolBus. Gentlemen, congratulations. Go ahead and grab your trophy and enjoy your victory. For the final words of the event, let's hear from the analysis desk.